Quel que soit Alpha, avec lui j'ai la vie, il est king, il me dirige. Quelle que soit ma souffrance, il est là, me soulage, me soutient et me délivre. Yahawashi come down to save us. Yahawashi come down to save us. Yahawashi come down to save us. Come down to save us. Come down to save us.
Kalayamla, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Yachaazaqaahla. Double honors to the elders of GMS, okay, who teach and rule well. Peace, salutation to the brothers who are in the Lord doing this work, you know. And in truth and sincerity, of course. And shalom wahab to the brothers and the sisters who are awaiting, you know, the return of our Lord and Savior. And we're asking this morning, you know, for the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi to forgive us. Salakia Hatayanawa. And we're asking as well, you know, the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi to send, you know, the mercies of King David of the water, you know, Shalak, Aman, Hasadyam, the water. All right, so today, you know, I'm prompted, you know, I'm pushed to do a lesson. And that lesson is the spirit of Ezekiel, okay? The spirit of Ezekiel. And then, Ezekiel, when you go in the blue letters that was given to us, you know, because what did the Most High say? He said, let's go quickly and I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it all live, you know. Nothing was prepared. I just got my garment on, my earpod on, and I decided to do this. So the spirit of Ezekiel, right? The spirit of Ezekiel, okay? So now, if you go to right, if you go to John, right, 26, John 14 and 26, it says, but the Comforter, the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, okay, the Rawcha, okay, whom the Father will send in my name, okay. So the name is important, okay. We need to know the name, all right. He revealed to us the name, okay, because it wouldn't make sense for us to for him to reveal us the truth without revealing his name. Because I don't think an ambassador of any country can go to another country doing the work of the country, okay, that he's, you know, that sent him, and not knowing the name of the president or not knowing the name of the king. It don't make sense. See, this truth deals with logic. So when certain brothers and can say the name is not important, they're only fooling themselves, okay? But he say, but the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, the Rawcha, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things, okay? And bring all things to your remembrance, okay? So the Spirit will teach us things, man, all right? It will teach us things. So I'm coming in that spirit of, you know, the Spirit guiding us to do certain things. And I believe this morning the Spirit told me to do that because I didn't want to do it. But the Spirit told me to do that, okay? And this is one of the reasons why we have to do it. And I read this precept, you know, I read this precept already. But as you know, repetition is pedagogical, okay? Pedagogic in French, meaning like it's, you know, important if you want to really teach people, you got to repeat certain things, you know, over and over and over again. So in that spirit, I would like to go to Matthew 25. Okay, Matthew 25, and we're going to talk quickly about, you know, the talent, you know. Right, so Matthew 25 and 24, and it says, then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there that is thine. All right. And the Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knowest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou owest therefore to have put my money to the exchanges, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. All right. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which have 10 talents. You know, and that will happen where? That will happen in, you know, the wilderness. That's what I believe. I'm starting to see now, you know, that it will happen in the wilderness. So for those of us, or the elect, the hopeful elect that will make it to the wilderness, that will be saved. And also, you must believe, no matter what you go, no matter what you go through, your faith has to increase. Even if you feel you put yourself in this, even if you find yourself in a dire situation, you must have faith. You must have faith that you will be, you know, rescued. That the Holy Spirit, that the angel will minister unto you in that day, no matter what situation it is, man. Okay? So that's what I believe. Okay? And I believe that in the wilderness, some brother will, those who didn't really, the talent that was in you, that you buried, that you didn't put to the forefront, you know, he would take it off and would give it to the brothers who did the work. And that goes now into the position and the level and the ranking in the kingdom, the Malakwaf shall, you know, Yahweh. You know, that's very important. It goes as well, you know, into, you know, the fact that if you know something, you must spread it. All right? And that's what I'm about to do. All right? So, now, the spirit of Ezekiel, okay? The spirit of Ezekiel, you know, if you study Ezekiel, he has a peculiar, you know, task that he done. You know, and Ezekiel wasn't listened to a lot, because Ezekiel will say what he had on his mind, and it will, I guess it will be controversial. All right. Now, when you look at Ezekiel, he was let me quickly get it. If I can't get it, I'll just, you know, start with the precept. But I thought that would be interesting, you know, to know. All right, so Chilakia, I should have prepared it better, but you know, sometimes I can't wait. I just have to jump on it, and I forget certain you know, thing. But it's all right, you know. So you know, you can make some research regarding Ezekiel, and Ezekiel, what he did, he prophesied for 22 years, okay, in Babylon. All right, so Ezekiel was a prophet in Babylon. So just as we do the work in Babylon, and that's why the Bible says in Jeremiah 28 that the prophet of old, okay, let me find it. Let me read it. You know, the prophet of old, you know, I'll just give you that precept alone shows, all right, that the prophets are back here today, man. You know, and we all know that. We just don't know who is who. But the Most High can reveal certain things. You know, near the end, he will reveal. You know, because he say, you know, he revealed his secret to his servants. So he can reveal certain elements of it. Okay. So Jeremiah 28, all right. And 8 say, the prophet that have been before me and before thee, old Talakia, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdom of war and of evil and of pestilence. There's nothing new under the sun, like the Bible says. Right? So the same Ezekiel that was prophesying, all right, in Babylon, all right, came in Babylon again, all right, and prophesied. Now, America is the daughter of Babylon, right? If you look at things, you've got a father, all right, he starts something, but his sons become bigger. I'll give you one example. On the left-hand side, on this earth, the Rawcha, their father is the one that set up the whole banking system, right? But he put his 5 children in 5 different countries and then brought it to the next level. That's what America did, but it came from the father. So if you take that analogy, and he goes into the Babylon, the mystery Babylon, it started in England. All right? So Ezekiel will be in England, for example, because this is Babylon, and he will do the work here. So Ezekiel did the work, all right, in Babylon, and Ezekiel came back to do the work in Babylon. Then after I've spoken about Jeremiah, about all of this, I'm talking about Ezekiel. All right? I'm talking about Ezekiel because Ezekiel is something that always, when I was even in Christianity and that, I always say to people, my spiritual name is Ezekiel. So that's why I love the spirit of Ezekiel. That's why I want to talk about Ezekiel today. Ezekiel is somewhere back today doing the work, right? So I would like to speak about our spirits, just like the 7 churches. You do have camps that represent those churches, but you do have brothers as well, different brothers among the truth, in the truth, that represent that spirit as well. The way they move, the way they act, they represent that spirit. So the spirit of Ezekiel, if we can receive, right? So now, Ezekiel did the work in Babylon, and he's back again doing the work. But what happened when he was doing the work, man? Because a lot of you brothers will feel that spirit around you, but you wouldn't understand it. A lot of brothers will feel the spirit of Isaiah around you, but you wouldn't understand it. But you will see that even your life is the same as, that spirit. All right? So that's just one prophet, and there's many others. All right? So we flow in the spirit of those prophets because we are, if we believe that we are the hopefully elect, and we only say that the hopefully elect with humility because we don't know. But the Bible says that the elect will scarcely be saved. So we have to be careful and always put a dose of humility in our speech, in the way we conduct ourselves. Very important, right? But understanding the spirit in which you flow with and being able to share it is not a sign of being prideful, right? And that's why I read Matthew 25 and 24, because if you don't, flow within the spirit that you were given, especially if by the grace of the Most High, through another spirit, it's revealed to you the spirit that you flow under, you won't be able to do the work like you're supposed to do it. Just like the case of Gideon. Gideon didn't even know that he was so powerful. It took the spirit to reveal to him because he came from a house of idolaters and poverty. So he had low self-esteem. And the Most High, that's what's going when you read let me read it. It makes more sense when you read it. So let me read it quickly before I carry on. When you read Amos, all right, a verse that we know very well. When you read Amos 9 and 11, okay, when you read Amos 9 and 11, you say, and in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of the water that is fallen, right? And close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins and I will build it as in the days of old. All right. So he said, in that day I will raise up. So the tabernacle of the water, the Bayaf, the Wada, is being raised up as we speak. And funny enough, England is the country, from where the Bible, the King James Version, was established. Because, King James was established in England, man. All right? And if you look in the New Testament, the churches came from Europe, man. Came from Europe. In the New Testament, there's a town where one of the men of the Lord went, which is called Derby. D-E-R-B-E-O-Y. And I forward a place in this country called Derby as well. Not to say that it's the same place, but it was like in Asia Minor, and it was in Europe, man. So the church was established as well in Europe. After Judea, Jerusalem, it came and it being established here. Right? So it's the cycle. There's nothing new under the sun. So a lot of the prophets are in England. So don't let that revelation, help you establish yourself spiritually and mentally and physically as well, so you can be yourself. Because the reason why we don't know who we are, the reason why a lot of us the Israelites have a low self-esteem, because the fact that we don't know who we are. When you know who you are, it shouldn't make you proud. In the contrary, it should humble you, but make you more, effective in your ministry. All right? Right, so Ezekiel did a ministry in Babylon for 22 years, and things happened to Ezekiel. So the reason why I say these is because you flow in a certain spirit, but you got to understand it. So when things happen to you, you understand, oh, that's part of the ministry. All right, so let's look at Ezekiel quickly, right? Let's look at Ezekiel. Right? Let's look at Ezekiel. So when we go to, Ezekiel 2, Ezekiel 2. When you go into Ezekiel 2, right? Let's start 2. He say, and he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, and I heard him speak unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel. So Ezekiel, if Ezekiel is in London, if Ezekiel is somewhere in England, okay, he will be sent to the children of Israel. So you will have that urge to join the camp and be taught. Because even Ezekiel, he was under the order, I believe the 20th order. Let me look it up, man. It's getting interesting. Hold on. It was under King David, man. It was under King David. You see, so you have to be under, you can't be, you won't learn, you won't grow. You gotta be under a certain spirit. You gotta be, I'm supposed to do a lesson on that, but I'll just touch it up right here, right? You say, it's like, in order for you to grow, you gotta be under a certain spirit. A brother that has the spirit of, and be careful who you're under. If you're under a talebearer, a gossiper, a manipulator, you're gonna end up one. But if you're under a great spirit, you will grow. You will become a serious spirit. Okay? You become a serious spirit, man. So you can't just grow under anyone. But if you don't know who you are, that's what happened. If you got low self-esteem, that's what's going to happen. We all had I had low self-esteem. But through the spirit of power, he let me know the spirit that I flow under, and that kind of like help. You know? That kind of help, man. I hope I can find it. If I can't find it, it's all right, man. You know, yeah, so he say, a son of Ezekiel, a son of Buzi, and a priest and a prophet, author of the book by his name, have taken captive with Joachim and exile in Babylon. You see, exile in Babylon. England is Babylon, you know, where he prophesied for the next 22 years. All right, and he said, a priest in charge of the 20th course in the time of David. In charge of the 20th course but that, all of that is a sign, you know. All of that is a sign, right? Meaning that, you know, you got to be under something, under a camp, you know, and learn, and that's how you grow. You can't be in your yard or watching, you know, the videos and that and think, you know, you got to be with men, all right, with men. And he says even that. Let me go quickly to let me open another page and go quickly to Exodus, right? Because we reading Ezekiel, so I don't want to get away from what I'm reading, but through the Spirit, I just want to read something for brothers that are pocket watching. This is the time for you to join the camps, man. But hey, that's the Spirit. You've got to pray. If you're sincere, the Most High will show you that through a dream, through a brother, through a situation, through a divine, you know, how do you say, encounter. You will meet a brother that you have no choice but to listen to what the brother, because the Most High will send it, and strongly in you, you will know that, right, that the Spirit sent it to me. He sent this guy to me. He sent that message to me. Okay? So he says, Ezekiel, Exodus 6 and 26, he says, these are the Aaron and Moses to whom the Lord said, bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to the armies. So they already had armies. They already had camps. They already had group sections. They were organized, man. So you got to be part of that little an organization that move through the Spirit, you know, of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You can't just go anywhere. Because you go camp out there, other one is the money. Feel for lucre. You know, other one is the fame. Other one is to be seen. You know, you go camp out there, you know, other one is, they're in the truth, but they haven't, the leaven is still in them, and they operate like when they're in the world. But they will go out, do the work, and do very good, and feed them know, you know, the word, and know how to teach the job. But when you're around them, you will see that spirit. You don't want to be around that, because spirit jumps on people. And if you're around a certain spirit, it will be on you as well. So you got to be, I pray, but don't worry, the Spirit of the Most High, the angel are walking around in different captivities, and they're doing ministry. So if you're sincere and you pray, the Most High will guide you. Okay? The Most High will guide you, man. That's what he says in John 14 and 26. Now let's get back to Ezekiel. So he says, Ezekiel verse 2 say, and he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. See, when we go out there, that's what we do. When I first started the truth, I was in Church of Yahushua. I wasn't really talking and teaching. The only time I spoke is when some French people came and I had to intervene in French and that. But for the most part, the ministry I was doing though, which through the Spirit of the Most High, he put the Spirit on the Ashana. Every time someone came, I was the one I was sent to speak to them. Okay, to kind of like strengthen, to build them up. You know, because I think if they came around, that's because the Spirit was calling them. But they need someone to build them up, to put that stamp, you know, of faith on them, so they can, you know, join the camp. You know, so you always say, Yachaazaqaahla, go and speak to that brother. And when the police came as well, many occasions, he sent me as well. And though I wasn't speaking, I was getting ready. So don't worry when you come in this truth. Don't haste to be a teacher, man. Don't haste to be a teacher. You can be a reader, but learn. Because the most important thing is your character as well. If you what's the point of being a good teacher, but your name is everywhere. You're always in between, like a fox. So when you read Amos 9:11, what did he say? To restore, so to speak. So you be restored. You gotta be restored because you were a nigger and trying to turn you now into a man of the Lord. Trying to bring that old vibration. All right. So yeah. So at some point now you'll be sent. So when I started with the brother, after I left the camp, Church of Yahushua, and I started with the brother Badiah, and me and him started Yahweh's Messengers. All right. So we were attacked. We almost fought every, Saturday. There was a time where a pastor came with his church and they had like those big, speakers with a mic and that. And we couldn't even, everything, it's like us against them. They had the upper hand because they had the mic. So everybody could hear us, but us, me and him went till the end. And from that time, they respected us, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think one of the members is still a brother to the brother Abadiah. He come around always and things like that, right? But like we say that we know pushover, man. And that's why you say as well when you read Ezekiel is not a pushover, man. The spirit of Ezekiel is not a pushover. Okay, because the men of the Lord are warriors. That's one thing that you gotta understand. They came back for a specific purpose. And when you got the spirit of Ezekiel, you will understand as well that, certain things, you won't be able to do certain things as far as women, even money and that. It will only give you what he fit, necessary for you, man. So are you ready to be in this truth? A serious thing. You can't do what you want. Okay? So he says here, they and the fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day, so they won't listen. He said, for they are impudent children and stiff-hearted, I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, thus said the Lord Yahweh. So you got to do the work. You got to bring out the mystery of the word. And also Ezekiel, he rewrote the law. So when I say rewrote the law, he had to set up again in Babylon to teach the Israelite in Babylon. And that's what we do. And that's what we do. You understand what I'm saying? All right? Those with the spirit of Ezekiel, that's what they do, man. They're not scared to rebuke. Because you say, verse 5 say, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are rebellious house, yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them. So you are a sign, just like Ezekiel says, Ezekiel 24:24. Ezekiel is a sign unto, let's read that quickly, before I even carry on. Ezekiel 24:24, man. People don't listen to you, The spirit of Ezekiel will go somewhere and stand and start preaching, man. Whether people listen or not. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the spirit Yahweh gave to you. Or gave you. Right? So Ezekiel 24:24 says this. Thus Ezekiel is unto you a sign according to all that he hath done. Ye shall do. And when it cometh, ye shall know that I am Lord Yahweh. You see? And the spirit of Ezekiel, you go through everything that the Israelite men go in. What do you see in the Israel family? No fathers. A lot of the prophet that had Ezekiel spirit, they didn't know the father like that. They knew him after, but they didn't know the father when they were growing up. They knew him after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So that's the spirit of Ezekiel. And also, even the spirit of Ezekiel, more than likely, you won't have like a family setting. If you had in the word, when you come in the truth, it will be gone. It will be gone. And that's why Paul, he was smart and wise enough to not be involved with women, because a woman will always be in conflict of interest with the truth, because the truth is known by the ancient Greek as Sophia. She's a woman. If you read the Bible, the wisdom is known as a woman. It's a feminine energy. What does the feminine energy do? They look for validation. They look for constant, what's the term? They're in need of being looked after. Yeah, there's a term that I forget, but it's okay. You know what I mean? When you have a woman, she want to spend time with you, quality time, what you doing, or sometimes when you're too much in your word, like you're always in the word, that this guy from GMS that was saying, in America, was saying that he had a woman, and every time he would be in the Bible doing research, and she would come and all upset, and he would say, "Why are you upset?" Say, "I'm upset at the thing that you have in your hands," meaning the Bible. Why? Because you're not giving us attention. That's the term. They're attention seeking spirit, and the truth as well. That's why when you go away from your first love, sometimes you become very cold, or you don't do the work anymore. You lose your spirit. Why? Because your woman is Sophia goes and reports to your father, man. Just like when you have a woman and then treating her right, she can go to your father, and say your son is treating me bad, and your father will come with a wrath. He will put you in check. It's the same thing. So you got that as well. You got hardship. Because when you read Ezekiel 4:5, it tells you about how Ezekiel had to perform certain ritual that were gonna be the reality of the Israelite in captivities, man. Or sleep on your left side. That represents the iniquity of Israel. For how many days you have to sleep, eat dung. The spirit of Ezekiel will know hardship, man. Financial hardship and things like that. But when you have money, what do? You eat proper. But if you're going to have to eat dung mixed with your food, what does it mean? You're going to go through financial hardship. You're going to know the laws, the law of the law. Not all the time, but you're going to go through certain things. So you got to understand the spirit you're flowing under. All right? So, going back now to Ezekiel 2. Going back to Ezekiel 2, he says, verse 6, he says, "And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words. Though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions, be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their look. Though there be a rebellious house, right? And there's another precept where you say, "I've made your forehead," right? So the spirit of Ezekiel, man, he will be in the ghettos teaching every Saturdays and things like that. Places where you see, man, you could see the curse, of Israel playing out, man, heavily, right? So what spirit are you under? What prophetic spirit are you under? I'm not trying to bring a new doctrine, It's all in the truth. You know what I'm saying? This truth has many layers, man. You know what I'm saying? This truth has many layers. And as you grow in this truth, the Most High can reveal certain things through certain brothers, through certain spirit, through life experience. He can reveal certain things. And it's important for you to, speak about it. And the prophet, the spirit of Ezekiel as well, Most High told him to do something, he will do it. Why? Because if he doesn't do it, the Most High will check him. And I spoke about what? The gold, the lamada, right? The gold and the lamada, right? Right. That's what's going to happen so I don't want to be, shamed in front of all the congregation, in the wilderness, because I didn't do the work. Because that's what's going to happen. The Most High will slap you in front of everyone, man. Because Yahushua is an ancient spirit. It's not British. It's not like, how British they're not happy with you, but they will go and gossip about you though. But they will send email to someone regarding you. But they see you every day. They'll be with you. They're sitting there, you sitting here, and they're sending email to someone else about you. But and they smile at you. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, good. How you doing? Yeah, I know, man. Yes, I know, man. and they hate you in the heart. Yahushua is not like that, you know. Yahushua will come, look at you, say, I told you to do it. What did you do? Did you do the job? Answer, yes or no. Like slap. It will embarrass you. I don't want to be embarrassed, so I have to do the work. You know what I'm saying? I have to bring that information. And the information that I have to bring today is the spirit of Ezekiel in Babylon. Alright? So, I made your forehead, I think it's Ezekiel maybe 3 or something like that. Man. Yeah, 3 and 8. Right? That's right. So Ezekiel 3 and 8, man. Ezekiel 3 and 8. It says, behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against the forehead. Hey, the spirit of Ezekiel, they don't care who you are, you know. If you go wrong, they will let you know. Oh yeah. The spirit of Ezekiel, man, they will let you know. Because it's the priest spirit. What does the priest do? Counseling, judgment, all of that. That's good. Ezekiel was a priest as well. From the tribe of Levi, man. They don't play. You know, now someone might say, oh, all I want is salvation. Of course. You know, I don't want to know, you know, what spirit I flow under. All I want is salvation. But hey, that has nothing to do with it. In fact, knowing the mystery helps you with salvation. Because if you know what spirit you flow under, what does it say about, you know, the gift? They say, to whom, you know, much is given, much is required. So that means if you're giving 5 talents, you better, we read Matthew 25, you better work it out, mate. Okay? If you don't, hey, the Most High going to take it from you and give it to those who did the work. So knowing which spirit you're flowing under helps you have fear and do the job, because your work follows you, right? When we read, let's quickly go to 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra. Second Ezra 9. You know?
With Ramitli, my loved ones around the world.
Yeah, it say 2nd Ezra 9 and 7, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them from me. I have sanctified them for me from the beginning, man. So, for all you brothers doing the word, the Most High sanctify you from the beginning, man. That's why you might fall in the pitfall, but you always come out. You might find yourself in a sin, but you always come out. Why? Because the Most High sanctified. It doesn't mean now you can just sin. No, it means that you will fight for sanctification all the time, because He sanctified you. Remember, everything that we're playing right now is already written. It's like a script that is given to you and you play it out. But you have to play it well, though. Good actors are the ones that master the script and able to play it naturally. But you can't say, no, I'm not reading the script, I'm going to do my own thing. That's you creating your own righteousness, right? So let's go now to the very strong, the brother with that have like you know, the spirit of Ezekiel. They have like a hard head. They're very strong individual. The Most High made him like that for the work. Okay, for the work. All right, because they are the heads. You know, and you being the head is nothing to do with you being proud. It's something to do with what he is. He is what he is. All right, but you flow in that spirit, man. Okay, and there's something that's very important as well. Let's go to 1 Samuel 15. That's one thing that kills us as Israelite. Because you see, Yahweh is a power that's not a physical and carnal power. All right, so He doesn't see it the way we see it. Let's look at King Saul. This is where he messed up, right? So when you go to 1 Samuel 15 and 24, and he said, obviously, through Samuel, Yahweh sent Saul to get rid of the Amalekite. Okay? But you know what happened? He kept some for him. He didn't kill all of them. He kept Agag. So 24, of 15, the 15th chapter of 1 Samuel says this. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed the voice. One thing, brother told me this, one thing that you're going to have to deal with in this truth is choosing between the people, meaning the people around you in this truth, or your family, whoever, and the will of the Most High. And most time, the will of the Most High is in conflict of interest, with the will of the people. So he was thinking about the people. Oh, what they gonna think about me? What they gonna say about me? And he didn't do the work. When you do this work, spare no, your feelings, man. Like spare no feelings, man. It's not about the feeling. It's about doing the work of the Most High. So you gotta do what you gotta do, like they say, right? So we're gonna do what we're gonna do. When you're an hopeful elect, or a servant, you're not gonna be. In fact, this is what it says, man. This is the reality. This is the reality. Look, this is the reality. If you try, if you try to be too real, oh, you're gonna have a lot of enemies, man. You're gonna have a lot of enemies. Because Jake, even in his troop, Jake wanna do his little things, You know what I'm saying? He wanna be like, double, into both worlds, is in the truth. That's how you say double, right? I don't know, he's double. But you know what I said. Well, let me use another word in case I make the mistake. He wanna play both sides, both sides of the fence, right? So you say, Amos 5 and 10, they hate him that rebuketh in the gates, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. And the spirit of Ezekiel, what does the Bible say? Go to these wicked, these stiff-necked and stone-headed, Israelite, and tell them, man, they ain't gonna like you. They ain't gonna listen to you, man. They ain't gonna listen to you. You might not have a big following and thing like that, but you gotta do the work, man. Okay. Now, one more, precept. I spoken about it, but I just want to read it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to read it, man. Where is it? Is he? Now listen, the brothers, even that's for a lot of these men of the Lord. This is what's going to happen. A lot of the men of the Lord don't have gal. A lot of the men of the Lord, they don't have gal, like a woman that ready for them. They don't have it, man. There's a reason, Let's read it. Ezekiel 24 and 16 says, Son of man, behold, I take away from thee the desire of thine eye, the desire of thine eye with a stroke. What does it mean? We have to read the Bible, We have to get into it, You have to break it down. What does it mean? Because you could have said, I am going to get rid of your wife. But the thing about it is this. The Most High ain't going to get rid of his wife when he say that, it's better to be, two is better than one. You know what I mean? He ain't going to do that. There's a reason why he did that. When he says desire of thine eyes, it's because Ezekiel's weakness was that woman that he was with, man. Because at some point, the woman started to take precedence in his life to the point where he wasn't really doing the work like he's supposed to do. Because brothers have level, If you are giving 100, if you are giving 70, you better flow under the 70. Those brothers were giving 30, they just have to do it, they flow under the 30. It's not the same. That's why you have to know which spirit you flow under. Because if you compare yourself to another brother, what if he was given 30? And there you are doing it like him, because you're part of the same camp, doing like he's 30. The most I would say, why were you working? They say, but Yahushua, I don't want, You know, my brother, he was doing, you know, one video every month, right? And not to say that doing video is what it is, but I'm talking about the work, right? So I'm taking that as an example. And he would say, but I gave you 70 though. He had only 30. I gave you 70. Right? But you didn't know, because when people were telling you, oh, you're just spirit, this spirit or that spirit, you were like, oh man, all I want is salvation, man. It's more than that. It's more than that. It's salvation, but there's work to be done. If it wasn't the case, Matthew 25 wouldn't play out, wouldn't be written. It's a warning, you know. All these things are written for our learning, for us to be great, right? Because we are part of, hopefully, the house of the tabernacle of the water, right? The bayab the water, right? So he says here, Son of man, behold, I take away from thee thine desire of, so like the desire of thine eye, meaning the girl that you love so much, man. You were wrong, Yachaazaqaahla, man. Yachaazaqaahla. That's it's not Yachaazaqaahla. I just did it because obviously, you know, cut it short, you know, or Yara. Some people call me Yara, but it's Yachaazaqaahla, right? So you say, yo, Yachaazaqaahla, you love this woman too much, man, to the point where now you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So the spirit of Ezekiel, they won't have women like that, because of the fact that, you know, that's the weakness. They love women so much, man. You know, woman turn them fool, like the Jamaican says. So yeah, that's the thing. So you have to know, that's why it's important. Because you'll be crying, I don't have this, I don't have that. What spirit do you flow under, man? Who are you? Speak to the Most High. He will teach you. You bring brothers to teach you that. Or he will show you things, man. You will know. You will know yourself. You don't have to know, oh, what prophet was I, you know, or who am I in this captivity? What, am I Daniel? Am I Isaiah? You know, am I Jeremiah? No. But you know yourself in this ministry. You know what's for you, what's not for you, and it will help you better. So, hopefully you were edified, you know. With that, I'll give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Waha, Racha, Badash. Go on, Israel. Shalom, Israel.